Hello, and welcome back to the Adam Sandler Podcast. It's been a while. We took a little break, but now we're back, and we're gonna take one of our famous unnecessarily deep dives into the career of Adam Sandler. But this week, I think we can both agree that we're actually gonna get to talk about a really good movie.
For once.
For once. Oh, well, it happens once every other month or so.
Yeah.
But I should introduce you. I mean, people who watch this know, but you are, of course, my friend and trusty co-host, Christopher.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Oh, I'm spoiling that. So yeah, the movie we're going to talk about today is it's still a Netflix movie. I'm not sure if this is part of Adam Sandler's Netflix deal, because
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not a Happy Madison movie, but it is.
Yeah, because I think the deal is with Happy Madison, right? Not Adam Sandler specifically.
I think so. Yeah, that makes the most sense. So this is just a bonus movie they got from him. It's the Noah Baumbach written and directed movie Meyerowitz Stories, within parentheses new and selected stories. No, new and selected. It's a dumb title. I mean, not dumb, but it's unnecessarily long with the parentheses. But yeah. Should we, how do we do this? Do we watch the trailer first, or we talk a little bit about it first? I don't remember.
Let's go with the trailer first.
Let's go with the trailer. Yeah. So let's watch the trailer, the Netflix trailer. I don't know if this is a good trailer or not, but this is the one I chose. So let's watch it in 3, 2, 1, play.
The owner of this place is a client. That's why we could get a table so last minute. That's why they gave us this bigger table. I imagine they'll send some complimentary stuff, too.
$55 for a steak.
We're known for their meat here.
And $35 for a salmon? You get the salmon to blow you for that price?
Hahaha.
Are you Harold Meyerowitz's son, Matthew?
Yes. Mrs. Danny, also Harold Meyerowitz's son.
I didn't realize he had two sons.
And a daughter.
And the daughter. Yeah.
It'll be nice to spend time with them. No, I didn't get a lot of time with them growing up.
Oh, that's a good scene in the movie. Because seconds before that we get a revelation.
Literally, they take all of the little birds and deep fry them and just... It's very sad. There are no little birds left in Italy anymore. They've eaten them all.
I don't think that's true, but maybe. Well, yeah. So it's people talking. It's a movie of people talking. It's not a very interesting trailer. But yeah, that's literally what the movie's about. It's about 3 siblings coming together. Well, the first hour they're not together. But like I guess the main plot surrounds the showing of Harold Meyerowitz art, and they're gonna be at that showing. That's the second half of the movie, I suppose. The first half is really set up, which is an interesting structure. The movie's it's about 2 hours long, and the first hour is literally just character setup for all the characters, basically.
Yeah, but also this movie's kind of weird in that regard. It feels like this movie is all about just learning these characters and how this family fits together. And as soon as we get that, as soon as we understand that, the movie's sort of over. Because that was the objective.
Yeah.
It's just, the whole movie is just getting the mindset of these people. So, yeah, first half is just setup, but second half is deep dive.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like I don't know if because I want to say like we need all the it's hard to I don't know, it's hard to criticize because I don't think we need an hour of setup before the actual like plot starts or plot.
Well, I mean, yeah, we do, because that's the point of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. That is the point of the movie. So it's kind of hard to I don't know for me to quantify.
It's sort of like not that you are, but complaining about the setup in this movie is like complaining of it's too much action in an action movie. It is the movie. It is that. It's
Yeah,
just
that's true. Yeah, and I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to point out the unorthodox structure of the movie. Yeah. Because it doesn't really have like a 3-act structure. It sort of has. Most movies can be broken down into 3-act structures, but I guess this one has more of a 2-act structure. It's the first hour and the second hour, basically. And then like or maybe like the last, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes is like a epilogue almost. Like after, spoilers, after the dad gets out of the hospital after his coma.
Well, so we said that earlier, but what do you think of the movie? Is it?
Well, when I first saw it back in 2017, it's like almost exactly 3 years ago since it was released.
That's the usual structure we do this.
Oh, right, yeah.
When did you see this movie first?
Well, yes, I saw it when it was fairly new, so like, yeah, late 2017, somewhere September, October. And back then, I was a fan of Noah Baumbach, so that's why I watched it, and I thought it was good. And not his best movie, maybe even one of his weaker movies. But then I rewatched it today for the first time since then, and I fucking loved it. I don't know if it's 3 years maturation or if I just have changed my taste, or I don't know what it was, but I absolutely loved it today. So, how about you?
Well, I didn't love it. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I can't complain about really anything. There was some parts that weren't bad, just not for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't like awkward humor, and that was some points that was painfully awkward. So
yes.
But I get it. They have their purpose in the movie. So yeah, it just I wasn't enthralled, more or less. It's a good movie. I would recommend it to people. It's one of the best we had on this podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's up
but
there.
I don't think I would just sit down and rewatch it in like for any reason really.
For me, this is kind of a movie that you can watch over and over again because it is so it's so pedestrian. It's literally just people talking in different rooms. And for that reason, I think, for me at least, it is a movie I could watch over and over again and just like almost like have it on as background noise, almost just to listen to the dialogue and listen to the characters. Even though you're not supposed to experience movies like that, but not like a hangout movie, because if you were a bunch of people and just had it on in the background, it would be completely forgotten because it's so understated. But just watching it by myself, or maybe like with one other person, I could definitely see myself watching it again. Much more than most other movies on this list or this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, Noah Baumbach is amazing. Most of his movies are great.
That's definitely something that has changed since I saw this movie. I liked him before, but since then I've really come to appreciate his movies and watched some more of them.
But he has this really, as you said, understated way of making characters, bigger than life, but really understating them and really.
Yeah, and they are big. Yeah, they're larger than life, but he manages to ground them very well. They feel real, even though they are very huge.
Yeah, and again, as we said a lot of times before in the good movies, perfect casting, I'd say, for Adam Sandler.
Oh yes, that's the thing with all these the good Adam Sandler movies. His annoying personality works perfect in these movies.
Yeah.
It's when he tries to be funny that it doesn't work, because then it's just annoying and fills no purpose.
A perfect use of his explosive screaming in this movie.
Yes. Did you think of that that every time he screams in the movie, the scene cuts.
Yeah.
Every time he screams, it cuts off because you don't want to hear the end of that scream.
No. So yeah, perfect. And I think everyone was perfectly cast in this movie.
Yeah, everyone was great. Especially, I really liked. I forgot the one who plays the sister. I don't remember her name. I don't remember anyone's name. What's her name?
All right.
Jean.
Yeah,
Jean
Jean.
Meyerowitz. Elizabeth Marvel. I really liked her. Really liked Adam Sandler, Dustin Hoffman. I mean, yeah, everyone was like perfectly cast for this movie.
Even like the small parts, like Judd Hirsch as LJ.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Once again, a very understated Judd Hirsch. If you compare this to some other movies you've seen him in. So yeah, and I think a lot of that is also attributed to Baumbach's direction. Like he knows how to direct people.
Yeah, I was reading that Adam Sandler said that he loved this filming so much and working with all these people, and specifically Baumbach, that if he asked him, Adam Sandler would drop anything to be in his next project.
Oh, that's good. That's what you like to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what, Mr. Sandler? Because we know you're watching these. That's what.
Yeah.
That's basically what every movie should feel like. It shouldn't be work. It's you're making art. It's supposed to be fun.
Well, aren't you supposed to make money and go on vacations? Isn't that the big thing?
I guess that's fun in a different way, but I've never heard you. I never heard you express such elation for I don't know, fucking what's it called, Blended or Billy Madison. Then you're just like, yeah, it's a fun movie, whatever. So it's obvious that he likes these kind of movies, or at least acting in these kind of movies. So I really wish he would do that more often.
I mean, it's not inconceivable that he just doesn't get asked to be in movies anymore.
That's true.
Except in these movies where a director just sees that this would be perfect for him.
Yeah.
So I probably that, because he is, as he said in that speech he did regarding
Uncle
Gems.
Yeah.
That he is kind of a joke, and he knows that in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And nobody respects him at all. So, I mean, maybe he want to make these movies, but nobody asks him.
Yeah, and I just thought about it after I said that I wanted to see him in more movies like this. Maybe it's good that he's not in more of these. Like it's like a quality over quantity kind of thing. Like if he made one of these movies every year, maybe it wouldn't feel as special.
Maybe.
Because that's kind of thing. If they say if everyone's special, no one's special. So if every one of his movies are special, none of them are special. I guess. Maybe.
So, I mean, back to this movie.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to just really talk about it, because you can't really take any scenes or situations out of context, because everything is so interlaced with each other and with each thing, and everything builds on everything.
Yeah.
So you can't really just take a scene and say this scene was good or this scene was bad, because everything just flows together.
Yeah. So let's do this then, because I want to ask you, because I was thinking about what I got out of this movie. What do you think, like on a thematic level, I suppose, not on a story level? What is this movie about for you? What did you get out of it?
This movie is a portrayal of a dysfunctional family and just the intricacies regarding that. But in the end, whatever happens, everybody actually loves each other in the end, even though everyone has different ways of expressing it and not expressing it. But I mean that I think that's what I took from this movie.
Yeah.
That in a family, no matter what family, there's gonna be issues, and every family is dysfunctional if you really take a look at it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that anyone or that family is worse than anyone else, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a similar thing, especially about the dysfunctional family part, because they obviously are. I think they're all three from different mothers, or at least Ben Stiller's from a different mother than Elizabeth.
They're all
Mobley
from
and
different
Adam Sandler.
mothers.
They're all from different, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I was also thinking that Danny and Jean had the same mother.
Yeah.
But at one point, Jean says, "I remember your mother was visiting Danny."
Oh, right, yeah.
So yeah.
And then of course in the movie he is married to a fourth wife now that he married when they were all grown up. So there's not really any maternal characters in the movie except for the one scene with what's her name? Candice Bergen, who is Ben Matthew's mother, yeah. And that is one of few scenes that are very like calm, and everyone seems like they seem at peace in that scene. Even Dustin Hoffman's character, who seems to be very agitated all the time in the movie.
Yeah, but I mean, it's his weird. The character's weird way of thinking of stuff that hasn't to do with anything, and making things that isn't important super important in that moment. Yeah. So even in that scene, he goes on and on about this book.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say that's calm. That scene is calm.
No, but it's
one of the calmest.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think that there's an ongoing theme of him being, like, not a bad father, but kind of an absent father, sort of. Like, not absent, physically absent, but maybe like emotionally absent, because he was always preoccupied with his art, and they never explicitly say it, but that he feels kind of all of his life, because he never became like a celebrity, if you can be that in the art world. I don't know, like Judd Hirsch's character, who gets his own showing at MoMA and all that. That he feels like he struggled all his life without actually getting the recognition he thinks he deserved, and because he was constantly striving for that, he missed out on kind of raising his children. And that's kind of what they're coming to terms with, because all three of them, since they grew up with this different version of their father, they all thought that the other kids were the more important kids, but it turns out none of the kids were really that important.
So I remember they're talking about quite early in the movie that how he raised every kid.
Yeah.
And that I think Gene, he pretended she wasn't there or ignored her.
Yeah.
And Danny, I think he just dismissed Danny mostly.
Yeah.
And just said he was bad at stuff and was a disappointment.
Yeah. And yeah, go ahead.
Yep. And then Matthew, he tried to make it right and be super involved in Matthew's life and really supportive all the time.
Yeah. But in a way, then, like, being overbearing, because it's definitely like annoyed Matthew as he grew up. That's why he's the one that lashes out the first at Harold or Dustin Hoffman's character. So the way I saw it, it's them coming to terms, especially for Danny. It's him coming to terms with the fact that his father wasn't
better with someone else.
No, he was. Yeah, he wasn't better with anyone else. He was different, and that he wasn't singling Danny out. It was just the way. It was the way he. The way the children reflected in his character. Like, Danny was the creative one, so he was kind of hard on him because maybe he saw him almost as a competitor, because they were both working in, like, the creative field. But then him, because of his kind of egotistical nature, which he is all throughout the movie, he's very egotistical. And then with Matthew trying to be more accommodating and trying to push him forward, but then pushing too hard.
Yeah, and try to more or less try to push him into art.
Yeah, and then when that didn't work, he's kind of dismissive of his choices in life because he works with money. He's
You
good
could
with
you money.
money.
Could have been a great artist, but
Yeah.
you make money instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of.
And then just like with her character, Jean he didn't really notice Jean.
No, just didn't think about her.
And that's kind of funny because in the movie we're not introduced to her. She just appears in a scene.
Yeah,
I've been here for hours, she says. 5 minutes into a scene. And the fact that the movie starts with Danny's story, and when that introduction is over, we go directly into Matthew's story. And we don't actually get Jean's story until about an hour and 10 minutes in or around the first hour mark. Just Jean's story as well, which I think that's a deliberate choice.
Yeah, but I gotta say, I think one of the funniest scenes, all the funniest jokes in the movie, was Jean's jokes.
Oh yeah, because she's very sardonic. I like that kind of humor.
Yeah, and also she's very even though she does it several times, you never expect her to say what she says in those situations. I'm thinking about that scene where they're playing cards.
Oh yeah.
And then Danny says to Matthew about the nurse they saw,
Sam or whatever. I think it's
Pam.
Pam, right? Pam.
And he says something in lines of, "Would you fuck her?" or something like that. And Jean says, "I would." And then for a while, just kidding. And that's and nobody laughs in that scene.
No, because that's kind of her character. She's kind of to the side, and nobody really notices it until she makes herself noticed. But we also have the resolution. Once again, we don't really get a resolution with Jean, but we get a resolution with Matthew and Danny. And for Danny, I think it is. That's probably the scene that hit me the hardest. Is towards the end when they're in the country house where the dad lives with his new wife now. And it's a scene where Adam Sandler, Danny makes pancakes for him, and he doesn't eat the pancakes, and then he asks for cookies instead, and he throws the tray of cookies or the plate of cookies on the ground. You remember that scene? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's like him, emancipating himself from his father, because he says those words that the end of life counselors were telling him about at the hospital when he was in a coma. The whole I'm sorry, I forgive you, I love you, goodbye, or something like that.
No, I'm sorry, forgive me, forgive you, thank you, goodbye.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and because all of his life he's been very connected to his dad, probably because of him rejecting him when he was a kid, and I guess that's kind of how opposites attract, and I guess that's kind of how it works. I'm not that good at psychology, but it makes sense. That he would constantly look for the approval of his dad, and kind of feel, connected, almost chained to his dad, especially since they're both creatives like that. So that's
again, proceed.
No, I was just gonna say, so when that scene happens and he actually decides that, because just before that or during the art exhibit, he kind of realizes that his dad has been he's been a terrible father basically his whole life, and even though you still love your dad because it's your dad, he doesn't have to deal with that anymore. He's a grown up and he can make his own way in the world. So he says I think he says something outright first, goodbye or something, and then he says those other words really, really quietly and then leaves, because that's his way of breaking free. But he still doesn't want to hurt his dad, emotionally, so he just says it under his breath, basically, and just leaves.
I was taking that.
That really hit me.
I was taking that more as that he said it for himself, and his father. It wasn't for his father's sake.
Oh no,
it was
no,
for
of
his
course.
himself.
It was it was
So it's
saying these things meant he said it was him saying goodbye, because that was the whole thing with those words. You're supposed to say those to someone who's dying. So you're squared when they go. So that was his way of saying saying goodbye without saying goodbye. Because I think if he actually tried that, he would regret it and go back. But now because his father would comment on it, so now he just did it for himself and then left.
Yeah, because that's ties into, as you said, in the art exhibit. Maybe I don't know if that was you're thinking about when they were fighting him and Matthew on the lawn.
Yeah.
And he says, "Yeah, I should be angry at him, not you."
Yeah.
And Matthew says, "Yeah, I should be. Why aren't you?" "I don't know."
Yeah. and
that's why he did it so violently, throwing down the plate, because finally he actually got angry. He actually got that one thing to be angry at.
Yeah.
Not all the small things, as he said. Says in another
Exactly.
scene.
It's not one big thing. It's constantly small things. Yeah. And then Matthew's resolution with his dad is that he, even though there are all these small things, he does love his dad, because he mentions that he bought back the art piece that was called Matthew. Turns out though that because he was so distracted by his work when he was racing Matthew, he mistook Matthew for Danny. Or no, well yeah, so he was actually making that art piece with Danny.
With Danny, yeah.
But named it Matthew because, the kids are inconsequential to his career. But and when Matthew realizes that, or when he says that, when his dad says that, you see him pause. But he's just like, it's just another little thing. Let's have a nice, let's actually enjoy each other's company, like we used to do when I was young, before I realized that you, before I liked you, basically. So it was interesting that they had such different resolutions with the same character.
Yeah.
And then
I
Gene didn't get one.
I just realized when we were talking now, as I said, that every scene goes into another scene. You can't explain any scene without also just mentioning another scene. As when he said those words, and we had to go, as they said in previously when they were going through the doctor thing, because the father was in the hospital, and he was in the hospital because of this thing, and it's I think that's one of the greatest thing with this movie, that it doesn't feel like scenes. It all feels coherent, and everything's is put together in another way than a lot of other movies are.
Yeah, and that's kind of nice because it is structured without showing off the structure too much. So it has that. I don't know what it's called, but it's you have one scene, and this happens, and because of that, in the next scene, this happens. That's the structure you should strive for when you're writing a script. And for most scenes in this movie, I think that applies. That this happens, and because of that, this happens.
Yeah.
But you don't really notice it because it all flows so well together. So it's good structure because it's very, very subtle.
Yeah.
That's another thing to appreciate.
One thing that I didn't really get, I didn't have time to rewatch it because I just finished the movie just a few minutes before we started. The ending scene when they're walking around in the warehouse.
Yeah.
What was that about? Was that reference to something? Because that felt sort of tacked on. I didn't understand.
I'm not sure. I saw it as the resolution for Harold. Like we had Danny's resolution, we had Matthew's resolution, and we kind of got Harold's resolution there because he, like I said, he always felt like he wasn't appreciated in his time. He never got the big exhibitions. He never became rich and famous off of his art. But the people that mattered the most in his life, his children, and subsequently his granddaughter, they all loved his art. And all throughout the movie, you see I don't know if that's a theme talking about like absent mothers or non-existent mothers. There's a lot of younger female characters in the movie that say that they appreciate his art and appreciate him as an artist and as a teacher. You have the Loretta character, which is Judd Hirsch's daughter.
LJ's.
Yeah, exactly, LJ's daughter, and the blonde woman who talks to Matthew about being a student of Harold's when she was younger, and what a great teacher he was when it came to art. You had that, and then so there was a lot of people that really, really, really appreciated him as an artist and as a person, and in the end, he might not be like in a big exhibit, but he is in I don't remember. It's some sort of museum or school. It's called Whitney something, I think it is.
Yeah, Whitney. Yeah, Whitney something.
Yeah,
Whitney Hall. No, I don't know.
I don't know. Something like this. I think it says Whitney Museum of Art. So it's something. I think it's something else in between there. And once again, we have a female character who, even though his stuff is just there for storage, actually takes the time to go there and appreciate the fact that he is there. And that's kind of what he couldn't really see, because he was so bitter about his career and life, basically. But we as an audience got to see that he was actually appreciated. So I think that's what that was about. That he was there, and there were people that appreciated it.
Well, all right. I
how I
can
saw
see
it.
that. I didn't get that when I saw it, but yeah, got a point.
And then, and I think the song helped a lot. But I thought that was also a very, very, very emotional like scene for me.
Yeah.
And very, very good ending for me.
Yeah, I felt it would have been a better ending without that scene personally. Just with the scene, because the scene before that is when Danny's talking with Loretta on the street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think that should have been the ending. I think that was a nice wrap up from we started with Danny and we should end with Danny. And we should start. He started where he started. Now we have gone full circle. Now he is. We have finished his arc and we're done with the movie. And yeah, I thought that would have been better, but I mean, it doesn't worsen the movie any.
No, I can agree that the scene felt a little rushed, because it's really like, oh, there he is, cut to black. They don't linger on the box at all, so it's like, oh, it comes a little fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, the scene between Loretta and Danny is a very good ending. So it feels a little tacked on, but I get the feeling that Baumbach kind of wanted to give Harold a nice wrap up, because he's kind of an unlikable character, but he is at the same time, he has good qualities. So he kind of wanted to give him his comeuppance, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that as well. Like the sign of great cinema, of great art. Like I don't want to say not every character, not even most of the characters, but Harold in particular is a very, very complex character, I think, because he is, like I said, he's very unlikable on a surface level, because he's very self-absorbed. He doesn't listen to people. He's bitter. And he's just not nice to most people. But he is still a character that so many people admire. Maybe sometimes for the wrong reasons, like his children seem to like, they seem to admire him or like him because they have to, and they're not really sure why. And that's kind of what the movie's about, I suppose. Their feelings towards their father. But it's nice that it doesn't end with everyone like loving him. It ends with Danny like kind of, like we said, rejecting him, and Matthew like just accepting him for who he was, and once again Jean being completely forgotten, never getting any closure with her dad. But it's still a character that you don't hate. I don't even, well, I do dislike him a little bit, but at the end, you kind of accept him for what he was, basically.
And I'd say a lot of that is because of Dustin Hoffman's way of portraying him.
Yes. Yes.
Because I can see if we took the exact same script with any other actor, you would have hated him.
Yeah. Or if they got like some nice, I don't know. I guess he was dead, but like Richard Attenborough, like you would like, oh no, he's such a nice old man. Dustin Hoffman plays it perfectly, like down the middle.
Yeah.
Between likable and unlikable.
And I can't say any qualities in him that I like, but I like him.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't say anything.
And that's
why.
That's kind of what the children are struggling with. Like, why do we like him? Why have we stuck by him for all these years? Why is Danny in his late 40s still? Well, it's partly because of what happened with his marriage, but living with his father, who he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like that. It's that the characters, especially Harold, felt very complex, and there was layers to it. It wasn't just he's the mean one, he's the nice one. Oh, she's the sultry one or whatever. No, they were real characters, all of them.
So I don't know. I don't really have anything more to say about the movie. Right. Do you have anything else you want to discuss? I feel like I don't have anything, not that much to say about it, because it's just good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we've said before. It's easier to talk about a bad movie.
Yeah. And I don't think it's. Yeah, as I said before, stream. Punch Drunk Love is. This is the same par of Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
Which we before said was hands down the best one in the list, and this is on par.
Oh yeah.
But in that movie, it's more abstract. There's things discussed like symbolisms and things like that.
Yeah.
In this, there's not much of that.
No, I mean not beyond what we've talked about. I don't think so. Yeah.
So yeah. But I was thinking, have you read anything about this movie? Do you know anything, like, what people think of it?
Not much. I've looked at some of the reviews, but I haven't read any user reviews, because I'm pretty sure this is kind of movie that most moviegoers wouldn't enjoy. No offense to the common people out there.
So it only has a 6.9 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Just I would say kind of low for this movie.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hate in the review section.
Okay.
I mean, we have 1 out of 10, painful to watch. 2 out of 10, exhausting. 1 out of 10, one of the worst movies ever made. 1 out of 10, just not up to the task. 3 out of 10, an insufferable dramedy about a terrible person.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what it is. Yeah, sure.
1 out of 10, almost 2 hours of my life that I will never get back. I mean, there are some goods. I mean, there are some 8 out of 10s and 9 out of 10s, but they aren't as fun to read.
Yeah. But just kind of, that's once again like my big gripe with regular people writing reviews. You're saying, "Oh, it's the worst movie ever," but why?
Well, I mean, there are reviews. I just read the.
I know.
So is it like this one? 1 out of 10, painful to watch.
Yeah.
Everyone in this movie seems to have an attention span of a goldfish, jumping from topic to topic and constantly talking over each other and annoying anyone they have to deal with in public setting. I thought that with such a great cast, this would be a great movie with great dialogue, but it was one of the hardest things I ever watched. And I mean, I can see that criticism. It's the same criticism that Gilmore Girls got when that thing went on. That everyone was, nobody talks like this.
Yeah,
no, of course they don't. It's a movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a movie.
And that's I get that people don't like it, but it is in a world where people don't have to think before they talk.
Yeah, and also the whole thing with them talking over each other is because they're trying to communicate with their dad, who doesn't care about anyone but himself. So they constantly have to. He talks over everyone, so they start talking over him. I mean, that happens in real life from time to time when people don't listen to you. So, but I see it can be very annoying for 2 hours. Yes, definitely.
Let's see here. Another. Let's go for this 3 out of 10. Insufferable dramedy about a terrible person.
Yeah.
Netflix really promoted this movie hardcore. They made it seem entertaining, and it appeared to be a good time. I was wrong. This is the movie that is all about the characters.
Sorry, I'm just gonna say, no, Bombbox movies are never a good time. No, so don't expect that. Okay, sorry.
This is a movie that is all about the characters. You have to either find the characters amusing or find a connection with what they're going through in their lives. You might be interested in this ride. However, if you find the characters to be insufferable, much like I did, this will be painful to sit through. I can't fault the actors for this movie. They do a good choice bringing these characters to life, and I have to admit that I have seen no other movies by this particular director. I might have brought this upon myself.
Sure.
So I mean, that's kind of a level-headed review.
Yeah, and he points out what I think the point of the movie is, that we're supposed to
find at least one character that we can
relate to, yeah, and kind of get under the skin of these characters and understand what they're going through. If you don't enjoy that, yeah, you're not gonna like the movie. But at least that person understood what the movie was about. Then you don't have to like it, sure. But he told, you know what, he or she told us why, and I appreciated that. Yeah. So I accept that. So I like that.
I'm gonna go one more. This is the last one, and this one is I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So 1 out of 10. Almost 2 hours of my life that I will never get back.
Oh, yes.
Without a doubt, the most tedious, pretentious, mind-numbingly boring movie I've ever seen. I can't stress this enough. Everything about this movie is awful. It almost seems like the writer went out of their way to bore the viewers to death. There is no interesting characters, from the neglectful and useless artist played by Dustin Hoffman to the bizarre and cringy pornographic filmmaker played by the girl that looks like another popular actress.
Yeah, she looks like I confuse her at first too. She looks like Saoirse Ronan, I think. The girl from Lady Bird. Have you seen Lady Bird?
No, I haven't.
Little Women came out last year.
No,
okay.
I don't watch movies.
Whatever.
I only watch Adam Sandler movies nowadays.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and there's a connection between Saoirse Ronan and Noah Baumbach, but whatever. Yeah, it's not her. It's Grace Van Patten, I think.
Yeah.
Who's actually?
Which was?
Oh.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing you were gonna say.
Probably, yeah.
Under the Silver Lake.
Yes, she was the balloon girl.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about those scenes, the scenes of her movies or little short films, or whatever she did, video art. They really felt like the kind of stuff that you would put in a movie when the characters in the movie are watching like stupid, pretentious art.
Yeah.
There was no really thought put into those short films that she made. I think they were just supposed to be kind of explicit, kind of edgy, so that the older characters in the movie were like, ooh, but they have to say it's good because it's his daughter. So
I think it's. I was getting some. I couldn't really form a coherent idea about it, but I think it has something. There's something there that Hoffman or Harold was a failed artist and he made mediocre art, and then his granddaughter is making mediocre art, but everyone pretends it's good art. I can't really put it exactly to words, but I think there's something there.
Yeah, maybe.
Or it is supposed to be good art, because we have a lot of people repeatedly say it's good art without showing any sarcasm or politeness in the words. There's a lot of people who just enjoy it through the movie.
Yeah.
So maybe it's supposed to be good art, but they didn't. It's kind of a waste to make good art to just have like a side thing in a movie.
Yeah, and show like I think there's literally like 1 minute combined of it. So yeah, let's just make something that looks arty. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah,
could be. So I don't know. I did like that her father actually were supportive at the end of the movie.
yeah.
'Cause in the beginning he's kind of standoffish, which is understandable.
Yeah, he said, I should watch this by myself first when he shows it to the other people.
But then later on he's supportive, and I like
Yeah.
that. It shows him he's a good guy.
And that's also
we already know that.
That's also him trying to not be his father, like
Exactly.
supporting her in her art the way he didn't, the way Harold didn't with his art. Yeah. So there's probably a little bit of that too, but I don't think her character is the least important of the main characters. I would say and that's why she disappears for a lot of the movie, because she goes off to school. Like, it's really about the three siblings and their dad. So
I was because I went into this movie kind of blind. Yeah, I didn't say that in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I never saw this movie. I never heard of it until we started doing this.
No.
As a lot of movies on this list. So yeah, I went in blind. I didn't even know that Ben Stiller was in it, so that was okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. Or Dustin Hoffman for that.
Yeah.
But when I went into the movie, I thought she was gonna have kind of a big role in the movie. It felt like that in the beginning, because we have this when she's going off to college and all these things, and it's not really clear if Adam Sandler or her is the main character.
Yeah, sure.
So when she went away, and I was like, oh, where's she going back? Oh, in the middle of the movie. Fair enough, then, I guess.
Yeah, but I think also if there's any character in the movie that you, mostly because she's not in the movie that much, don't dislike for some reason, it's her. She's I don't know how to say it, unspoiled by the like toxic relationships of the other characters. So
she's definitely the most normal person in the entire movie.
yeah, exactly. So she kind of comes in the second time we see her in the movie, I think, is when she is visiting them at the hospital. I think so. Maybe we see her some other time.
Well, we see her on the other end of phone calls.
Oh, sure.
When we see her perspective.
Yeah, sure.
A few times, but she's not in the story.
Yeah. So when she appears there, all the characters, Jean, Danny, and Matthew have, like we said, they have very conflicted feelings towards their father. So they're trying to be supportive, but they're not really there emotionally when he's at the hospital. But the second she enters the room, she starts crying because it's her grandpa lying there, and like, oh, that's how a normal person should react to their relative dying. And I think that's kind of what her purpose was in the movie, to show that these people are really fucked up because of what happened.
Sort of, not really, but sort of like a straight man in the movie.
Sort of.
A baseline where we can see.
A baseline. Yes,
we can see how a normal person would react in this universe.
Exactly. So I think that's also why it's her. I think it's her in the end, actually showing appreciation for the boxed up art in the museum, because it would be, the other characters wouldn't be able to appreciate it, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they tacked it. I don't know. We're not gonna read too much into that end. So yeah. Well. Okay. So we did a little more about that character than I thought.
Yeah.
Where were we before that?
I was reading reviews.
Right.
But I was done with that. So, and you hadn't read anything from critics?
No, I mean it's got a 79 out of 100. The highest it got was 83 from David Ehrlich. He says the Meyerowitz stories isn't the wittiest or most exciting movie that Noah Baumbach has ever made, but it might just be the most humane, which is kind of scary. And I agree with that. It is. It's not the right way to say it, but the way the movie plays out, it feels kind of like one of his more middling movies, in a way. This and maybe what's it called, When We're Young, I think. They're kind of like, they're not masterpieces, but they're really well made. They're not I don't know if you've seen Marriage Story, which he did 2 years later after Meyerowitz Story.
I think so.
The one with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson having a divorce.
Oh no, I didn't see it. I know of it, but
Okay.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
So that was in contrast to Meyerowitz Stories, because they're both Netflix movies, and they're, I mean, most of his movies look similar, but they kind of feel like, because of that, they feel like kind of like companion pieces. They're both very brown movies, and that one is, I guess, I don't want to compare them like that, saying like the one was better than the other, but Marriage Story is the better movie of those two. And it felt like this was a movie he wanted to make, and it was okay. And then he made his fucking pièce de résistance with Marriage Story, because that one is, Jesus Christ, that's a good movie. I wish we could talk about that one.
So I was reading some interesting things about the movie.
Okay.
So, for example, this was the second of Adam Sandler's movies who had opening in Cannes
Cannes
Film Festival.
Yeah.
Cannes.
Yeah.
And it received a 4-minute standing ovation afterwards. So
Yeah. I mean,
I can see
it's
that.
kind of tradition, but yeah.
Yeah. And Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller stated in the press conference after the movie was shown that playing brothers in this movie was one of the best experience they've ever had in their careers.
I did read that. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. It kind of like strengthened their friendship outside of movies.
Yeah.
Which was, that's nice.
So yeah, that was two things I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah. And that's another thing, like that. Why I feel like he should make more movies like this, because it strengthens like relationships and friendships instead of just being a fucking job.
Yeah.
So
I mean, time to go over the charts. One chart we don't really have to even look at.
no,
No regulars in this one.
yeah, the spreadsheet. There's no one. I mean, technically, but he's not on the list. This is actually the second time Adam Sandler and
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller has worked together. He has very
Happy
small role
Gilmore.
in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And there's another connection, not with Adam Sandler, but Dustin Hoffman played Ben Stiller's dad in the Fockers movie, Meet the Fockers.
Oh, right.
Meet the Meet the Parents and the seagull Meet the Fockers when he's in it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, no other regulars.
No. So scoring then.
Yes, the scoring. Let's see here.
It's a 1 to 100 scale, right? It's
Yes.
been a while.
Yeah, 0 to 100. You can't give zeros. You can't give minuses, but you can give zeros. So let's see.
Yeah, I don't think 0 is gonna be on the board for this one.
No. I don't think so. Hold on. Let me just. There we go. So, Meyerowitz Stories, new and selected. What will you score it?
I'm gonna give this one an 86.
Whoa! 86. Oh. That's not right. Hold on. There we go. And that should be... There we go. Right up here. 36. There we go. No, not 36. 86. Sorry. There we go. 86 out of 100. All right. Yeah, and that's interesting, because I feel like I like this a little bit more than you, but I was actually going to give it a lower score.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not much lower, but I was going to be like an 80 or 82 or something.
Oh.
But maybe, well, let me just
Well, I mean, you shouldn't measure your enjoyment from my enjoyment.
No, exactly. And we definitely score differently, because, you know, we sometimes have the same opinion, but yeah. I'll give it an 80. What is this now? There we go. I can't write. There we go. 81. I'll give it an 81 out of 100. And I think we then, well, okay, so we have that. 86 from you, 81 from me. Let's look at let's measure it against the other good movies on the list.
rating champion of
Yeah,
this
exactly.
list.
Yeah. Let me just remove this for a second. There we go.
We'll see if I gave this higher than...
Yeah, I was thinking of that, because we talked about that before, and you briefly mentioned it during the stream. That you you enjoyed Punch Drunk Love more
Yeah.
than this.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one more than this. I think they're both on the same level, but
Yeah. Well, then I have a surprise for you,
yeah.
Mister. I enjoyed Punch Drunk Love more, because you gave Meyerowitz Stories a 86 out of 100, but you gave Punch Drunk Love an 82 out of 100. But yeah, it's different, and we're not beholden to some. This is why I don't grade movies when I do reviews or whatever. This is just
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably need to watch them back to back to
Yeah, exactly.
be sure. It's been like over 6 months since I saw that one. So.
Yeah, and we mentioned that before also. Punch Drunk Love is a much harder movie to kind of approach. It's a little more like, get away from me, I'm a weird movie. This is, and Meyerowitz Stories is a much more approachable movie. So that probably works its way into the score. Because I gave Punch Drunk Love an 80 out of 100, and I gave Meyerowitz Stories an 81. And like it's very different movies, so you can't really. Yeah, I guess they both fall into drama, but they're very, very different movies. But for me, yeah, they would probably end up somewhere around the same score. So, but that's that. I think.
So next week then.
Next week, yes.
Yeah. So let's see here. Where are we in the year? So yeah. In 2017, where we are now.
Yes.
He made 2 movies. He made Meyerowitz Stories and Sandy Wexler, which we saw, not last week, last episode.
Yeah.
So next week there's gonna be 2018, which he only made 1 movie.
Yeah.
And that was The Week Of.
Yeah. A movie
and,
I know very little about.
Yeah, because that's the one with Chris Rock.
Yeah, they're both playing like the father of. Their children are marrying each other, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I've heard that movie is a good Netflix comedy. If you put it like that. Not a good movie, just something when you don't have anything else to watch, you can put on a comedy on Netflix, and this one does the job. That's what I've heard, at least.
All right.
And Chris Rock is usually funny, so.
But yeah, he's funny. But is this? I haven't looked up. Is it a Happy Madison movie?
I think so.
Oh no. Let's see.
'Cause I think this is one of the part of the Netflix deal.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's a Happy Madison movie. Happy Madison and Netflix. Yeah. Yeah, but it does. I remember seeing the trailer when it was new. I didn't watch it, but and it doesn't look like a typical Adam Sandler movie. It's not like Grown Ups 3 or whatever. Just judging from the trailer, which you shouldn't. I get Spanglish vibes. That I guess that one turned out to be one of my most enjoyable movies on the list, but just the kind of vibe of that movie, I get Spanglish vibes. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it's Robert Spiegel who's directing it, and he's been okay throughout this.
Robert's, isn't he the guy that usually writes stuff? Oh, it's that guy who has small parts in movies as well.
Yeah. Well, I think it was director. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the guy who's written some some stuff. Well, not really. He wrote Hotel Transylvania too, but that's about it. And The Week Of.
Yeah, but he directed Wedding Singer and
what?
No, wait, no.
Oh,
What did he do in? Cause he didn't he direct a few movies.
No, he's appeared as an actor in some of the movies, like small parts, and I think he.
It's only writer. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's a producer in some movies. He produced You Don't Mess with the Zohan. He produced Jack and Jill.
Right. I just remember it's a name I know now.
Yeah, because
I don't really like knowing that name, but I know it now.
Yeah, he plays the dentist brother-in-law in Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
He's like in one scene in some Adam Sandler movies, and then he produces some of them.
Yeah.
So I don't really know him as a director. I don't know.
Well,
I guess
we'll see.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I gotta say.
But then,
I was just gonna say, because I was not even sure we were gonna have that on, because for the longest time, I thought that was like a mini series or like a 4-part sitcom or something. I was like, is this a movie? Is this a TV show? I don't know. And then I like up until a couple of months ago when I actually looked over our list, I was like, oh, so it is a movie. That's how much I cared about that one.
Well, yeah, and then so we only have 3 movies left on the list.
Yeah.
There's only 3 weeks left. So the week of, and then Murder Mystery, and then Uncut Gems.
Yes.
But apparently a new movie.
Yes. Let's just quickly talk about that, because Hubie Halloween, a new Netflix movie from Adam Sandler, is coming out on October 7th. So, and we said if he ever makes more movies, we're gonna talk about them. So there's not gonna be a big pause between Uncut Gems and that one, unfortunately.
So yeah, it's not gonna end with a bang, but with a whimper.
Yeah, unfortunately. But at least we have Uncut Gems to look forward to.
Yeah. So there's actually 4 movies left. So
yeah,
4 weeks.
But that's...
And then we're free!
Until another movie comes out. I mean, we don't have to, but...
When a new movie comes out, then we will be back. Again!
Yeah, I think you mentioned that sometime, that like once a year or whatever when he makes movies, yeah, we'll make an episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's wrap it up. Well, yeah, we dragged it out. We started talking about wrapping it up at about 37 minutes. We're at an hour now, so yeah, usually how it works. So yeah, thank you to you people watching, and thank you to everyone watching in the archives. And if you want to follow along in the conversation for next week, be sure to watch the week of. And make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell thing so you're always updated when we release new stuff. And until next week, have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.